Only 100,000 people. Those 100,000 people may be different in many ways, but there's one thing that brings them all together. The Green Bay Packers. In Titletown, the blue-collar city only knows hard work, tailgating, championships, but more importantly, they know family.
We have a saying in this town: faith, family, and the Green Bay Packers are all that you need. Sanjay and I grew up in Green Bay. You could say that we are Green Bay, or even better, the voices of Green Bay. We bring a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience.
Friendship, family, and football.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the Freezer Podcast.
We are back. This is the Freezer Podcast, where we bring you a local field Packer fandom to a worldwide audience. I'm Sanjay. Alongside me, like always, is Matt and Fred, and we are live here in our home studios, brought to you by Artec Ventures, brought to you by Lakefront Brewery, and brought to you by Game On Wisconsin. We are officially out of the playoffs because we suck a lot of beep. And we just, didn't come ready to play. It sucks. We're here. I'm ready for Hawaii because clearly our quarterback was. And, I got the boat shirt on today, boys. So how we doing? How we feeling? It sucks because we're out. And I really haven't touched anything football related in the last 48 hours. So here we are. We're talking football. We're talking Packers. We're talking absolute shit.
You look like you hopped like a late night flight to Miami Beach, and they had a 48-hour bender and just caught a flight back and just came on the show.
Hey,
all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
I mean, that's how it feels, right? That's how we feel right now, Fred. You're like, this has got to be. I don't even know. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say it. This has got to be one of the most embarrassing moments of like Packer, minus the 70s and the 80s. This has to be one of the most embarrassing performances I've probably ever seen on all scales. I mean, maybe the defense not so much. They kind of played. But the special teams, and to finish it all off with a field goal unit that didn't even have 11 players on the field. Fred, your thoughts on this embarrassment of 60 minutes on the field? Okay, maybe not 7 minutes, because we thought, 7 minutes, we just drove right up the field and scored a touchdown. So maybe after the 7 minutes that we, maybe that was a 5 or 6 minute drive. After that, it was the most embarrassing, whatever you want to say at that point, minutes of football.
You got some issues you got to work through, I think, first and foremost there, Sanjay. But I will say that you do look how I feel right about now with your with your facial hair and the shirt. So
I don't even know what Iowa Joe's saying. This is clearly facial hair. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see a picture of Iowa Joe, and if he doesn't look like a goddamn grizzly with a beard, like actual full-on beard, then he can't talk about anything about facial hair. So post a picture, Iowa Joe, and let's see your facial hair of all facial hair, and then you can talk some trash, all right? I ain't putting up with this bullshit. Show me your face first.
Sanjay's feeling lost.
Iowa, who even gives a shit about Iowa? God.
Brian Bulaga.
Brian Bulaga.
Iowa.
Bastards.
Listen, all right, I'll get into it. I mean, I don't know. I know we're all going to bounce back and forth here for the next, 30, 45 minutes about the trash that we had to see. It's beyond disheartening, guys. I mean, I don't know how else to really put it. I'm fed up. I'm absolutely fed up. I am completely at my wit's end. Full disclosure, going into this season, I had a lot of questions. I was feeling like, am I beating a dead horse? Am I just at this point in my life? Like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep going on podcasts every Monday? Do I want to put the time and effort into it? Like, seriously, just a genuine questions of like where I'm at in my life, right? Like,
actually, yeah,
that's what it was. And me and Matt even had a discussion kind of like, hey, we're both dads. Where are we going with this? Like, what's the life, whatever. But we're like, we're going to run this year. We're going to do it. We go 13-3, right? MVP quarterback. Everything's looking good. Maybe this is the right decision. This has got to be different, right? It's got to be different. No. Here we are again, 13-3, losing in the playoffs. I don't give a shit if it's the NFC Championship or the wild card. A loss is a loss. And to me, the way that we're losing is what is the most absolute disgusting fashion that I can honestly think. And all excuses are done, right? No more excuses. I have no more excuses left for Aaron Rodgers. And the worst part is Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any more excuses. He's got the defense. He's got the team around him. He's got the weapons. He got his guy back in 18. He had the offensive line. He had the running backs. He's got everything he's ever needed, right? Here you go. All of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin in general. Here, Aaron, what do you need? Take your time. Go to Hawaii. We're here for you. We love you. Come back. We will do whatever it takes for you to be happy. And this is how you repay us? This, not the fact that you lost, because wins and losses happen in football. I can live with that. The thing that I can't understand is your lazy ass attitude that you have on the field and on the sidelines, as if it doesn't matter to you, as if everything you said all off season and all year and your legacy and everything doesn't actually truly matter. Because a guy that I saw on the sideline was a guy that does not seem to actually care about the Green Bay Packers and the fandom. I saw a guy in Tampa Bay, a guy who's been there for 2 years, rile up his team, blood on his lip, Tim Tebow action shit, literally pull that team together on his back and go for what could have been a win when they were down, 27-3, 26-3. But you're telling me, Mr. MVP, Mr. 4-time MVP, that you couldn't put any fire under anyone's ass, including your own, to go out there and give me one touchdown? One touchdown. That's it. Especially when your defense played.
One. That's all we wanted.
One touchdown. Because you know what's going to happen is that in 20 and 30 years, we're going to forget about you, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to forget about you because life will go on. Patty Mahomes will come. The next Manning will show up. And your legacy will still be the legacy of what? That you won MVPs. The difference between what your legacy, Aaron Rodgers, will be and what Mr. Favre's legacy will be is Mr. Favre went out there with guts and grit. And he put it all on the line. And at least I can go to bed saying that dude would have played and he would have fired up, whether he was hopped up on pain pills or dealing with a legal lawsuit because he showed someone his wang. That's different. What did you do? What have you done? What have you literally done for us besides create more drama than you've ever created and still end up without a playoff win? I just don't get it. I don't know how else to approach it. And I'm going to just preface this before I let Matt go into what he wants to go into, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to say stuff. But I just want to say that I love my Packers, and I'm never going to stop loving my Packers. I have a different viewpoint on a guy that I used to think was the one of the greatest things that's come to this organization, in Aaron Rodgers. Still, fantastic quarterback, probably one of the best quarterbacks ultimately of all time. But when it comes to it, in Titletown, Wisconsin, Titletown, USA, you have to win big games. And we've seen it now over and over again where he has not been able to do so. You can make many excuses. You can make the excuses with Arizona where Larry Fitzgerald had, the 75-yard player where they just trounced us. You can make excuses for San Francisco and Colin Kaepernick running all over us. We didn't have the defense. We didn't have the playmakers. You've had everything you could have possibly wanted the last 3 years, and you fall short 2 times right before the big dance and 1 time way too soon. That's where I'll hang my hat, because to me, that is absolutely uncalled for. And the fact that you don't go to your press conference afterwards with more emotion and more pissed offness besides just your California attitude, which I've made so many excuses for so many years, it's just it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm pissed and I'm hurt and I'm saddened and I'm depressed and I'm all the things mixed into one. That's all I gotta say.
Matt, I'm gonna give you this floor next because I have a whole heck of a lot to say, but I'm gonna let you say your piece first. Well, Matt, 1 second. I just want to say real quick, there's a 51 of you amazing people in this stream right now. I don't even know what all the other platforms are. But the fact that you guys are here on our last show, I just want to say, first off, we love all of you guys so much. If you guys are here throughout the whole show, that's awesome. I'm going to say it right now because its number keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And we're going to say it even if it is our last show for the season. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is it never ceases to amaze me that you could have interest in 3 idiots talk about the Packers like we do.
Oh, okay.
And
See,
wear
we're already
boat
losing
shirts.
we're already losing viewers because you're insulting us.
What?
Listen,
I'm just saying.
hey, listen,
What?
let's go. Come on. Nobody wants to
where
hear
are we?
your
Where
sad
are we?
story.
Are we
Let's go.
TV personalities? Or are we just idiots? I mean, we're idiots, right?
Both.
So, Matt, the floor is yours.
Please, Matt.
Well, I mean, I'm like you guys. I'm mostly just mad about it. I think I'm past the point of being like hurt and disappointed after these kind of playoff losses. I mean, I said it in the chat beforehand. I feel like we got catfished. I was told this team was going to be it. I was told this team was going to be the one that got us over the edge. I was told this team was the one that was going to go to the Super Bowl, and they did what they do every single playoff. Is they blow it, and they blow it in some type of fashion, whether it's the defense not showing up, the offense not showing up. Now it's the offense and special teams. I mean, you can't be even that shocked by that. But that's going to be the defining characteristic of this Rodgers era with the Packers is going to be playoff blunders, not living up to potential, wasting talent, wasting potential. I mean, had they not cashed in that Super Bowl back in 2010, what would the narrative, what would they be saying about this team? They would be getting flamed more than they already are. I mean, they're already getting dogged by everybody and then some. And I think there's multiple areas where you got to be pissed off about. One, the defense was lights out. I mean, the crowd was into it every single time they were on the field. Every single play, the crowd was cheering, and I thought it paid off. 6 points they give up. You're telling me you finally have a defense in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They give up 6 points on offense, and you lose at home is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And they waste that. And then, of course, special teams. We talked about it all year, guys, all year long. It's going to rear its head at the worst possible moment, and that's exactly what happened. Blocked punt for a touchdown. I'll even give them the blocked field goal. Fine. The blocked punch for I mean, game over. Everybody needs to suck the wind out of Lambeau Field. Everybody knew right then and there that was going to happen. They could have done something about it months ago and gotten rid of Maurice Drayton, whether that did something or not, but at least it would have shaken it up. And to just sit there and do nothing but flip some guys around, well, look what happened. Now your season is blown because you failed to make that switch. And then we'll turn to Aaron Rodgers, who talk about being small in a big moment. Mr. MVP, Mr. I came back, Mr. The whole team was about you. This whole season was about Aaron Rodgers and making Aaron Rodgers happy and putting the team around Aaron Rodgers so he can show up and win the football game when it matters most. And guess who was missing when the game was on the line? Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Big ticket price, over the highest paid, whatever. No show. All we do last year, those 2 interceptions after Tom Brady could have had possessions to go win the game. No show. That pass to Davante Adams is egregious. That is right up there with Brett Favre's chuck on 4th and 26 game against the Eagles way back in 2003. Just throwing up going, I don't give a shit. And somebody made the point where he made up his mind before they even snapped the ball. I'm throwing this goddamn thing to Davante Adams, whether the whole defense is on him or not. And to see that shit where Lazard is popping free there, it's like he makes that pass. He's down to the 40 to 30 yard line. And guess what we're talking about now? Playing the NFC Championship game at home. But no, we're not, because he got Mr. Hero Ball again. He thinks he knows better than everybody else instead of just trusting the system. I am most disappointed in him. I could give a shit less if he comes back next year. I love Aaron Rodgers. He's meant the world to the team and the organization and the city, etc. And he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. But, dude, you had 3 straight years of this team being in the prime position to get it done, and you came up small when it matters most. This should fall a lot on him. And don't forget Matt LaFleur. Where was the game adjustments? I just was watching that game going, they have no answer for anything the Niners are doing. And whether it was a combination of him and Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, 20 completions, 18 of which were to Aaron Jones and Davante Adams. Who's been talking about the last couple of years when that's going to bite us in the ass? Everybody loves it when they're doing it in the middle of the season. Oh, and Davante Adams got targeted 20 times. He caught the ball 18 times. But don't you dare suggest that that's a problem. Because guess what? Now you go to the playoffs, you take him out of the game, and you have nobody else, and you keep trying to force it to him. I'm just disgusted how this season ended. It should have been a Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl or bust, and you busted again. Period. End of story. What else is there to say?
The hardest
Wait,
thing.
hang on, Fred. You got your little say. Let me get my goddamn say. Come on. You got like 10 minutes, right? Let me get my goddamn say.
I feel like you've talked for more than 10 minutes already.
Get out of here.
Let's go, T. What are you
See
gonna
this
talk?
little fucking guy right here? right here.
Oh
Sorry
my
for all the
God.
kids that are watching.
You're gonna murder him. You're gonna murder.
I had this
Yeah,
guy on my
pull that head
goddamn,
off.
tool set, right? And I can't even take his head off because it's just so stuck on there. But screw you, Aaron Rodgers. All right, screw you. I've been at your feet for almost like a decade. All right, I even put you over Brett Favre over these two guys because they're always like Brett Favre, and I said no. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, and I, stuck my toe on that, or I stuck my, whatever you want to call it. I put my faith in you to show me that they are wrong, that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the Packers. And I was wrong because you're exactly the worst things ever happened to the Packers. You've been the biggest tease of my entire Packer, fandom because you choose to think that you are above every fucking person in this goddamn organization. And to shove, you suck a lot of expletive because you have this big ass ego. You have this mentality that you think that, I can just flow my hair and play the guitar and then, bang my supermodel or my actress fiance, and then nothing's going to have any repercussions of how I play in a goddamn NFC divisional round. Matt was right. 6 points. 6 points the defense allowed. And you were complaining in an NFC championship game against the Falcons that you didn't have anything. You had Gunter as your top corner. You even said in the 49ers game, well, the defense got ran all over. Well, guess what? You got a defense after that. And then last year, you chose to not run one in when it was 6 yards away, and you just decided to throw it away. And then, well, you kicked the field goal, and then you got mad at Matt for kicking a field goal. Now, this is not all on you, Rodgers, because this special teams has been awful, right? It's been just dreadful. And it was actually laughable. I actually laughed when I saw Bojo out there, and I saw him get punt blocked, and he's looking around for the ball because he had no idea where it was. And I saw the rest of the special teams confused.
Nobody knew where it was.
But what is his name? Wordle? Is that his name? The long snapper? I think. First off, there's a game that everybody plays on Twitter, right? Isn't it Wordle?
Wordle.
Yeah. Look at that. You're basically a mockery of a goddamn game that children play, and you couldn't even hold a block for more than 5 seconds. You got literally manhandled by another special teamer. Remember, special teams is the one unit where all the below average players that can barely make the starting roster go to. They're only used because they can have one specific goal. That's to either, punt coverage, kick coverage, and make sure no one gets past you. That's their job. And you, as a long snapper, got absolutely manhandled by a little guy. I think he was 6 foot nothing. And he pushed you all the way back and blocked the goddamn punt. So, Wordle, whatever your name is, screw you too. That was on you. Finally. And then Fred can talk. I too will always have the Packers right here in the back of my, my wall here. I don't have a little flag like Matt, but I have a little something. I almost wanted to cry last night. I really did. Or not last night, Saturday night. I wanted to cry because I knew at that moment that was it. That was probably the very last time I'm going to see it in a long time because I don't know what Jordan Love's going to do. I don't know if he's the guy. That's probably the last time we're going to sniff a full team. All these guys back, all these players back, and all this, this huge, great roster that Brian Gutekunst, mind you, assembled. And now I'm going to see misery for a while. I guarantee it. I might even see Brown's misery. I'd like to think not because Brian Gutekunst has a brain. Maybe he might be able to draft and find some, free agents with money now because we're not paying some,
Now we have our roster is here. We got a decent roster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally would argue with that because if Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, who their best receiver is practically a running back at this point.
I agree. Yeah, you're right.
I think our team is absolutely comparable, if not better, truthfully, than that team if running that type of system. Our defense was so good that they are comparable to that 49ers defense. Offensively, we have a great offensive line. We have 2 great running backs. We could have a very good tight end in Bobby Tonyan.
I just
we
don't know
could have
what we're going to keep. Bobby Tonyan's a free agent.
But if I have Jordan, if we have Jordan Love playing quarterback, he can do just as much as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well,
Jimmy Garoppolo seems to be doing really well.
And guess what?
I think he's a lot better than I think he's better than Jordan Love. Like, I think he at least has
probably, but it doesn't. But
he's had the experience.
But it seems to be just enough. It seems enough to get him to an NFC Championship and a Super Bowl. And at this point, it's better than what Aaron Rodgers is getting at.
I just don't know how many guys are returning. That's all.
I still think the problem is this: is Aaron Rodgers basically still wants to run his kind of offense, and he's trying to mesh it with Matt LaFleur. So I never think we've actually seen a full-blown Matt LaFleur ran offense. And so I'm really intrigued to see that with Jordan Love. Now, the question is going to be all offseason is, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to really bring Aaron Rodgers back and maybe Devontae Adams and lose 3/4 of these guys and just drag this team to 10 or 11 wins and get blasted in the wild? That's exactly what's going to happen if you bring him back. And if you think he's coming back and they're going to win a Super Bowl, joke's on you. They're not going to win a Super Bowl next year or with him ever again. This was the year, and probably last year. I don't doubt that they could bring him back and win a bunch of games in the NFC North. They're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not going to do it. So why don't you just get on with it like they did with Brett Favre? It sucks. It's an end of an era. A lot of people are going to be pissed off and cry and be mad and blame people and point fingers. But you know what? The sooner you do it and you quit kicking the can down the road, who knows what's going to happen? But
now,
all I know is if you try to recreate this year next year with half the dudes, it's not happening. So just be done with it. Be done with it.
It's never going to happen. And that's the problem, is that we've had 3 years, guys, right? Year 1, no injuries. Year 2, very minimal injuries. Year 3, lots of injuries. There is going to be a lot of question marks going into it. And you're right. It's never going to happen again. 13-3 is never going to happen. It's going to be over. And the thing is that everybody sees this big $50 million cap space issue and everybody's freaking out. I get that. But what people have to understand is that that's what you're going to look at if you keep Aaron Rodgers on there. And if you keep Devontae Adams and you bring him back for another year, you can easily keep the nucleus of this team and probably almost every defensive player through Russ Ball's wizardry. But it's only going to be if you don't keep Aaron Rodgers. You have to make that decision of, do you want to go 13-3 again and lose in the playoffs? Or probably not even, but still, we'll just use it as like a reference point, because that's what we seem to do. Or do you want to build this team through that incredible defense? And I think people finally, and I say finally, like it's like I'm grateful for it, and I'm not, because I never wanted this moment. But I think if there's ever been a moment where I felt comfortable and okay with letting Aaron Rodgers walk, it's now.
Well, I agree.
Why is that funny?
He's just mad.
I love
but it's true. It's true. I think that this loss demoralized so many people. I think people were finally like, okay, I've seen enough of this shit. We've done it for basically 11 years and definitely the last 3. I think I'm just over it. And people are embracing what comes next now. So hop on it.
What if we keep 17? Do you want to build around 17 and give Jordan Love more weapons?
Let him go.
Or you just want to be completely
okay. Devontae Adams is great. How old is he right now?
29, 30.
Okay, so
30.
Do we think that he's going to be this good in 2 or 3 years? He'll still be good.
It's tough.
But you're going to pay him a shitload of money, and I don't want to get wrapped up in another big ass contract. They got enough of them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's where you have to make this, these decisions, right? In this offseason. You got Z, you got Devontae, you got Rodgers, you got Ja that you have to pay eventually, Elton Jenkins, you got, all these other guys that you're going to have to pay eventually. Okay, maybe it's easy to just cut, Rodgers and Devontae, let them, find their piece somewhere else. But then you look at Billy Turner, you look at some of these other contract, Bobby Tonyan, you look at MVS, you look at Devontae Campbell, Rasul Douglas. Are these guys, are you keeping, or are you just going to be like, hey, thanks for that one great year, peace, because we can't afford you? I don't know where you're going to, you said that this roster is going to be very, competitive. I mean, yes. Does it have a lot of like good pieces? Yeah. Bakhtiar is signed long-term. You still have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon that can, really use the running game. The offensive line is pretty intact for the most part. We don't know when we're going to get Elton Jenkins back. I mean, look how long it took.
Midway through next year, came back.
Yeah. He didn't even come back. And Elton, I mean, I don't know how he's going to react to the injury. So you don't really have that secured. And then, on the defensive side, I think you have a lot of great pieces there. I just don't know, Devondre Campbell's a guy that I personally would kind of, assign to like a 1 or 2 year deal and give him the money because he's shown you that he can be leader of the defense. Go ahead, Matt. What?
Please, I'll just give me 2 seconds on Devondre Campbell. If they don't re-sign him, I'm going to be so pissed. You've spent 10 years trying to find that guy. 10 years. And if you get him knowingly, he's an all-pro and he's fundamentally changed your defense and you let him leave, to hell with you. I will be so angry. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
Just quickly to piggyback on that, we have waited so long for a very good defense, and you could really honestly make an argument right now that our defense, obviously this is coming off of Saturday's game, but genuinely it was probably one of the best defenses in the NFL. I know people can probably argue that it's not, but when you look at the age versus talent situation, or age to talent, we are prime for offering one of the best defenses. So you have to genuinely sit yourself down and think to yourself, okay, are you going to keep riding the coattails of a potential 40-plus-year-old quarterback, or are you going to build this team through defense and a good, strong run game?
And
like
if you
San Francisco's done,
and if
like
you can
Minnesota
trade
did
him
for a while,
and get a couple of draft picks to bolster the roster quicker, why wouldn't you? Or you really want to hang on for one more year of Aaron Rodgers, and then he retires, you get nothing for him, and you're not going to get another ring with him, so you might as well just get to stepping.
I think you need to, I think if you're going to do anything, put all the money towards the defense, get this like Ravens-like defense, and get your Trent Dilfer quarterback that can just somehow maneuver your way into the playoffs and somehow just go on a nice run.
You have Jordan Love, who I think can extend plays.
Ceiling's high, I think. I don't know.
Who's made enough decent throws. Like, right, we've all said he clearly has not made a throw yet that's made us go, wow, that's fine. Neither is Garoppolo. But the thing is that I think he can facilitate this offense, right? He can hand the ball off. He can make those short throws to Bobby touchdowns, to Lazard, whoever might still be back. I know I'm throwing these names out, but what I'm saying is that I don't think that you have to have him be Aaron Rodgers, because when we had Aaron Rodgers, we weren't winning because of Aaron Rodgers. We weren't winning on the heels of him being great. Like, he is great. He is an incredible quarterback, 4-time MVP, has all these records, but when the moment mattered, he couldn't do it. Maybe when the moment matters, Jordan Love can. We don't know.
Well, he's had his shot. He's had his shot. He's had his shot for 10 years.
My point is if you take Saturday's game, right, and you had Jordan Love in that game instead of Aaron Rodgers, the way that defense played, now Grant, special teams completely screwed the whole situation up, but if you had him with the way that defense played, with Jordan Love not being the guy who only throws to Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, extends plays, and maybe takes a couple chances, legitimate chances. I think it was Colin Cowherd, or I think he's the one who said it. One of the few things I've only watched since Saturday. But the fact that, like, Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, these guys were letting it rip. Stafford throwing bombs to Cup. When the shit was hitting the fan, right? Stafford's throwing bombs to Cup. Like, where's the chance? And that's what I struggle with. Like, Aaron Rodgers is older. Clearly, the legacy is at risk. The time is up almost. And you go into this game and you play it safe? What are you?
I don't know what they were thinking.
It? That's what I don't understand.
Help me understand this one. They went down the field. That first drive, they marched right down the field, jammed it down their throat, and scored a touchdown. They got to stop on defense, and were proceeding to do the same thing. You can't convince me that they weren't going down and put up 14-0 there until Mercedes Lewis puts the ball on the ground, and they never woke back up. I don't understand for the life of me how this team has done this so many times, where they get a turnover and they completely die. I mean, they did it against the Bucs. I think it was in the first game last year against them, where they had a turnover and they just rolled over. And the worst part was they fumbled. Lewis fumbles. The defense gets another stop, and you get the ball back. It's like, get over it and get back to your game. But they never found their footing again. It was like, had he not done that, it would have been 14-0. And the game might have been over at that point, the way the rest of the thing played out. But I've never seen a team get so down, out of it, disengaged over the slightest inconvenience of a turnover. It's baffling to me.
That Mercedes Lewis turnover honestly changed the whole face of that offense.
Well, there was
sure enough, but it did. It's like, it's almost like. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. I just want to quick point out two things. because everyone's chiming in and I love it. I love the fans being active here. People talking about, quoting Colin Cowherd. I get it. Colin Cowherd's crazy, but if you actually listen to what he says when he says things about Aaron Rodgers, he's actually more true than
It's
most
very
people will give
true.
him credit for. And
I
he
like
does.
what
I
he
get
says.
it. He bugs me sometimes, but he's not a Skip Bayless, so don't even compare him to that if anyone's going to say that. But when he's one of the guys who holds Aaron Rodgers accountable. And us as fans for a very long time have not. We've always wanted to bend and break and turn a blind eye to him because of his greatness. But the problem is that when it really does matter, he has not seemed to do anything. And I'll also say this to you, Gabbert. I get it, but the fact of the matter remains, we're still talking about one Super Bowl. And for 10, 11, 12, 13 years, I've been saying that. It is what it is. And then
he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not going to win a Super Bowl. He's done.
It's
the
done.
ship has sailed.
And lastly here too, Rodgers did throw into double coverage. Yeah, but that's too little too late and not what we were trying to do at all. This needed to happen quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, not the last play of game. It was too little too late.
Yeah, I want to also say, like, with the game, it almost felt like with all these guys that came back, I barely saw them. It almost seemed like they only put Ja and Z in for third downs and like critical moments. And it never felt like, obviously the defense played well, but like offensively too, Matt LaFleur, I don't know what happened to him in the last like 6 games, maybe. I just don't think he play called at all like what we saw maybe like 2 years ago when we were seeing like the ingenuity and the creativity. Like
But does that have anything to do with it? Does that have anything to do with Rodgers?
Yeah, we've
always
said
I wonder.
every
That's
week.
what I
We
wonder.
say it every week. What does Rodgers manipulate at the line? What does he choose to throw and what he does? Because like you said, the Lazard throw or the last play, Lazard was open and he just didn't choose to throw it to him. So obviously there's probably scheme was working, but to think that you couldn't get anything going after that second drive after Mercedes Lewis also has to be credited to Matt LaFleur as well. I don't understand where there was like at least
there was no adjustments. They made no
adjustments. The run game completely went absent.
And
you didn't use AJ Dillon before he got hurt, so I don't even know what you were doing with him.
How many other teams play the Packers the same way? We're going to rush forward, get to Rodgers, and we're going to drop back, play too high, blah, 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 blah. It's like they've never seen it before.
Different day.
It's like, for Christ's sake, how do you not have an answer for that? You know what the answer isn't? Is over-targeting Devontae Adams and forcing the ball to him when he's not open. Ridiculous.
He's like, I love watching Josh Allen because he throws to other receivers that Rodgers would never throw to. Like, Gabriel Davis had 4 touchdowns and 170 yards or something?
Well, here's the crazy part. When he had that full plethora of wide receivers, they used to hear, Aaron Rodgers has completed passes to 13 different players. He's blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have, now it's like, he threw to 2 guys. That's it. He wanted Cobb on the team. Did he target him 1 time? What are you doing?
And the other part too is that I struggled with big time. This has nothing to do with the last play to Lazard, but Lazard had 2 fantastic games going into the playoffs.
Right.
Enough to have a lot of confidence, enough for a lot of reasons for Aaron Rodgers to look for him. And he didn't even look for him. He didn't look for Cobb. You brought that point up. And it just felt like there was just a complete disconnect. And I don't understand why Aaron Rodgers feels like he has to to us, we look at it and say, where's the leader? Why isn't he out there rallying his troops? He probably looks at it and thinks, well, I was trying to make all these plays. And it's like, we don't want you to make plays, man. Like, just run the system. I'll guarantee you what LaFleur had ready for it. LaFleur and Shanahan are like brothers. They know exactly what's going to happen. Shanahan knew exactly how to stop us. And I'll guarantee you LaFleur has a very good understanding on how to beat Shanahan. But when you have a quarterback who doesn't look for other receivers, and he always goes to Devontae Adams, skips the checkdowns, tries to roll out when he shouldn't roll out. Like, it's just a bad thing. And let me also bring up one other point. And I brought this up a couple weeks ago, and we talked about it, and we were all pretty much on the same page with this. But can we finally put a nail in the coffin of the, we're gonna go to Lambeau in the freezing cold?
Yep, it's over.
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. It mattered.
Sucks,
It mattered when you had a gritty ass quarterback like Brett Favre who was gonna go out there and battle to the death. But that's not who Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers is good in domes. He's good in soft, comfy places. Yep. And I knew the second
not in
I
Florida.
saw him I knew the second that he went out there and I saw him warming up and I looked at his face, I could go, fuck, I know this is going to be bad.
He had his Brett Favre NFC Championship game. He was old and cold. He didn't want to be there. He couldn't complete a goddamn pass. And when the game was on the line, he had nothing.
Yeah, he kept saying in press conferences, "I hope it's colder. I hope it's cold." No, bro. Maybe you should ask for it to be warmer.
No,
you don't want shit.
That's what's such crap. And let's be realistic. Like, I understand. Like, we all want to go back. Like, listen, Fuzzy's grandson, I get it, right? The allure, right? I get Lambeau. I get the cold. I get the dark. I get the Titletown feel to it. Listen, I will die on a sword next to that. But all I can say is players today don't have that same mentality. Not one guy on that field went out there and thought, yeah, this is really what I'm all about. No way. They don't want it. They want to be in a comfort, climate control type area. And that's just the truth of the matter. It doesn't make them less of football players. It doesn't make them shittier. It's just the truth of the matter. And anytime anyone goes, oh yeah, they got to come up to Lambeau and play against Aaron Rodgers in his own area. And I'm like,
anymore.
That doesn't matter for us. It doesn't matter for us.
I'd rather be on the road.
It will. I truly do believe it could. I believe it could.
It could
when
again.
LaFleur's offense gets established with a Jordan Love and a run-first offense with that defense. That, I believe, will bring back that allure. But when it comes to a guy who is a strictly throw first and it has to be on this certain circumstance, then I think it's never going to work. And the other part that I'd never quite understood watching the game on Saturday is when we beat them, right? When we beat the Niners last, what did we do? We did quick throws, quick passes, slants, quick outs, things like that.
Where was that?
Then we go into this game, and it looked like McCarthy was on the sideline. We were long extending plays. Aaron getting outside the pocket. What are you doing?
What was the game plan? Could anybody tell me what they were trying to focus on? I have no idea.
When you had no receivers in the Arizona game, you were flawless. You did everything right when you didn't have Devontae. And then, of course,
warm and comfy.
I just don't. My other thing I really want to quick point out is, and I just forgot it now because I just saw someone else's comment. But the up 2 scores thing, that mentality that we've always had. Oh, the thing that you were talking about with the cold. I think this defense is scary in this cold, and it showed on that night.
Yep.
And that's the Lambeau stuff of, playing the Green Bay Packers defense.
As Todd
Lambeau,
said,
that could be scary. I don't
super
know
loud.
I don't know about the offense. I don't know what's going to be in the next years. But if this defense can play like that again in Lambeau in the playoffs, that is something to be scared of. But going back to Todd real quick.
Shout out, Todd.
The scoring, the 2-score lead thing, which let's just be honest, that was not even a 2-score lead. I mean, it was technically, but I never felt comfortable ever. And I was like, oh, maybe the defense is going to like give up something eventually because, we always know that's going to happen. But Matt LaFleur or whoever it is, I just don't the conservative play calling. I just never have understood it. And the fact that we were throwing, I saw someone else mentioned that DeGuara got some passes. We threw to 3 tight ends, Daphne, Tyler Davis, and DeGuara. And none of those throws were like accurate throws. And they were just, first off, they were also like impactful plays that like, really, that's your best target. That goes back to the whole Lazard and Cobb and, that thing. Go ahead, Matt.
What's the Niners' weakness on defense? Their secondary. That's the worst part of their defense. And
Right.
you would think you were throwing at the goddamn Legion of Boom the way they were looking. It's like, give me a break. Go out with guns a-blazing, throw the goddamn football around the yard. What are you doing?
He didn't want to look at anybody other than Devontae, and he didn't want to stretch the field.
It's on him.
I would have been fine with the McCarthy offense if he's throwing to other people.
Their number 1 cornerback, who would have probably played special teams, that's how bad he is on our team, and was hurt, and you still could not pick this team apart. You're telling me that Cobb, Lazard, nobody was getting open.
And one of their corners got
he's always sitting there talking about, EQ, he's really earning some snaps here, and oh my gosh, they're just get the opportunities. And what opportunities? You gotta throw him the football to give him a shot at it. And we the biggest game of the year, and you just tunnel visioned to one guy. You gotta be better than that. And LaFleur, if it's just Rodgers out there doing that, I don't know if you got to pull him aside. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get on
There's
board
no more
with this.
pulling aside, dude. He's gone.
What is the point of having those stupid tablets on the sideline so you can't show hey, dumbass, you keep missing all these fucking guys over the middle. What are you
just
doing?
Scared, man. That's the whole problem with this relationship. It was always about this love, and they're all great and everything. But I think Matt LaFleur, in the end, had no spine and would not have that kind of conversation with him.
No.
I really don't think he did, and I think he was just kind of like, oh, in 12 we trust. I'll just know that he's doing something right. But he never said anything to him. Go ahead, Fred.
I guarantee you that it's a weird point, and I think that honestly, LaFleur and Rodgers have had a really great relationship.
Sure, they have.
But I think that when Rodgers leaves that building, LaFleur is going to sigh a very
I agree.
large
Because
sigh
he's having a
and be
kowtow
like,
to him. I guarantee it.
finally. Because listen,
Because now he has a young quarterback that will listen to him.
Well,
he
Rodgers
came
was
from-
here first,
yeah.
so he feels like he's got to back off to him, you know?
And he's
Right.
and
It's his
he's
team, blah, blah, blah.
This is his
Right, absolutely.
organization.
And we talked about that. I talked about that the day LaFleur got hired. You can go back and look at our video. I mean, we talked about the fact that there's going to have to be compromise. There's going to
Right.
have to be
On
some.
both
There's going to
sides,
have to be
but
some of
only
this,
one
some of
guy
that.
did.
And for a couple of years, we've seen that, and I think they've actually meshed pretty well for the most
Yeah.
part.
Seasonally.
Ultimately, the GM Brian Goody and Mark Murphy. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there. They hired Matt LaFleur to be the future of Green Bay Packers, not to facilitate Aaron Rodgers for the next 10 years, but to be the leader of the Green Bay Packers. And I think the rest of the team, defensively, those young guys especially, they buy into everything that LaFleur is doing. They buy into the new culture. They buy into everything. And you've kind of had this like weird dynamic of, yeah, but it's Aaron Rodgers' team and he's still here. And like, you got to respect that, right? Because I mean, he's super good. But on the other half, it's like, yeah, but we could be like a little bit different, a little bit better. Like, and you have to think that they think that, right? Because a lot of them haven't been around for the last 20 years like we have with Aaron Rodgers and seen all that. Now, they all respect Rodgers. There's never been a question of respect towards his ability. But you have to start to think that this team is a different direction, and we are going to that Shanahan, McVay-ish type offense. I would say more Shanahan than McVay. But those three came. You know, that picture of them on the sidelines of the Redskins, that was all over everywhere, you know? And they are three people with very similar mindsets, right? McVay got hired first, Shanahan second, and then obviously LaFleur. But the idea is that I've always said this. I've always said I think LaFleur is going to build an offense very similar to San Francisco, and we see that, right? We see that with the tight end of Tanyan, and I know a lot of people think he's not that great, he's not coming back, but I'll guarantee he's got to be, because it's a very big part of this offense, whether you want to think it or not. The two-set running back, the offensive line with the zone blocking, and some of these young guys that got brought in, and then you look at that defense. It's very similar to San Francisco, and that's I think what gives me this like hope, right? This idea of, all right, if Aaron Rodgers is gone, right, and we're going to make that commitment, we're okay. We're not that far. It's not like, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers is gone and we're screwed. And I know everybody looks at the salary cap and goes, oh my God, how are we going to resign all these people? Contracts are way different than what you do on Madden, guys. It's completely back-ended. It's completely wizardry, right, Russ Ball. And these guys aren't signing contracts like 4 years, 100 million, 25 million a year. That's not how that works. There's guaranteed money. There's money you don't see. There's money from this. And that's the basis of it. So I feel extremely confident. If you were to tell me that they're not going to bring back Aaron Rodgers, which wipes out 30 plus million, and then Devontae Adams walks, with everything that's happening, you start extending people. I think you can probably keep a vast majority of this team together, outside of like, you got to probably let Billy Turner go, which is okay because our offensive line looked very good. You probably have to look at like a Dean Lowry guy going. You probably have to look at maybe letting go of like a Preston or Zadarius. Like, but those are things that like I think we're all okay with because we didn't have them for the most of the year.
Well, the Packers have go ahead, Sanjay.
I was just gonna say, like, the Jordan Love thing is exactly. I mean, the rookie quarterback, right? Like the young quarterback on a rookie contract. That's what you can mold. Yeah, that's what you want to mold, right? That's what this
Burrow, Josh Allen. I mean,
like,
Josh Allen just got his deal, but
this is truly where you're going to be brought. This is why you were brought in. Can you nurture a guy into this project for what you envision this offense to be? Yes. Rodgers was already a fine oiled toy, whatever. He was already this like sculpture of a being that already knew how to do things in a different system. With Jordan Love, totally different thing. And I think this is the ability for, Matt LaFleur to finally see what he has out of Jordan Love. If it is truly, I mean, you only got one more year, right? And then obviously he has a 5th-year option, but this is truly his next. I mean, if it is next year, he's gonna have to figure out what Jordan Love has and like obviously give him a the weapons that he needs. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, and if he was being honest, he's never fully bought into the offense because I think he's still, I think he's like 75% of the way there. And the other 25% is that horse shit that he throws up in the double coverage because that's what he does.
But he did get like 48 touchdowns last year.
He does, but listen, what is he at his best, right? When he didn't have Devontae Adams that stretch of games, he played within the offense. He was hitting everybody. I mean, they looked unstoppable. When he had his broken toe, and he couldn't run around, he had to sit in the pocket and to digest the defense and dictate where to throw the ball. He was great then. But it's just when he reverts back to this, we're just going to get this guy because, no, dude, it's like you're missing the guys over the middle. Look at what's happening in the NFC. Sean McVay, and now he's got Matt Stafford, Shanahan and Garoppolo. They're both planning to go to the Super Bowl. Those guys are playing within their systems and doing what they need to be doing. And that's why they're still playing. And you're not because you're playing outside of the system. Missing guys.
Let's get to a break real quick, and then when we come back, we can let this all
put a bow on it.
We can. It sucks. I hate losing. We all do. That's why 40-some people in here are watching us because they hate losing too. So when we get back, we'll wrap a bow on this. We'll talk about some future Super Bowl stuff, and we'll talk about you guys, the guys that have been with us for all 18, technically 19 weeks with us, and how much we appreciate the hell out of you. So don't go anywhere. This is the Freezer Podcast. The Freezer Podcast is brought to you by Lakefront Brewery. Lakefront Brewery is one of Wisconsin's largest craft beer breweries. Since its founding in 1987 by brothers Russ and Jim Cleach, Lakefront has earned numerous awards and created many industry firsts. Currently, Lakefront Brewery offers more than 20 different beers in 30 different states and several countries. Lakefront Brewery tours are among the most popular in the United States, with over 100,000 taking the tour yearly. Unlike most brewery tours, Lakefront was one of the first to offer beer before, during, and after the tour. Brewing flavorful, high-quality craft beer has been their passion for over 30 years. They'd love to tell you their story over a pint and a tour the next time you're in Milwaukee. Visit lakefrontbrewery.com to schedule your tour today. All right, you know where to find us, everybody, on all of our social media. You see our Twitter handles are here. We are also under the Sweep Studios and Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So check all of our content over there. And know that this is Game On Wisconsin. You can find all of your Packer content on here as well. Even though our show may be done, there's plenty of shows out there throughout the week that will have all your 24/7 Green Bay Packer content. And we'll be on a island somewhere, just chilling.
Island boy.
Hey, you know what?
Stop. Hey, we ain't no Island boys.
Yeah.
No.
First of all, you don't ever do that again, Matt.
It's the end of the year, guys. Who gives a shit?
You trying to get off the team too, there, Matt? I actually am going on an island this weekend.
Yeah,
so
dude, he's going to Hawaii. Look at that. Oh, you should be wearing the shirt. You should be wearing a boat shirt. You get to live stress-free while Matt and I still have to listen to talk radio and listen to Marcus Evansall and all those guys talk about what ifs and what could be's.
I'm gonna go jump off some cliffs,
volcano,
some little dive things like Aaron did last year, and I might be back next year. I don't know.
I'm probably gonna turn off notifications from you because I don't want to send pictures of
just block them for a week,
with your shirt off and all this.
Dude, I don't send
sipping on a coconut drink. I don't know.
I ain't sending you shit, dude.
That's fine.
I sent it to Matt.
So guys, in the end, this does suck. It hurts. Obviously, we don't know the fate. Aaron Rodgers is like, yo, I'll make get out of here. This shit's great. We'll find out soon.
I'd ask you to button it up more, but I don't think you can you?
I could, yeah, I could. Right here.
Might pop a button there, bud.
No, we're good. See, look at that.
No.
Okay, well, you don't have to go that far. No.
So we'll find out from Aaron Rodgers if he's gonna be staying or whatever's gonna happen with his little, trust the people, or I'm gonna talk to the people I trust and love.
Wait, hold on. Let me say something really quick about that.
Yeah.
Let me say something about that really quick, because the whole concept of
circle of trust.
I don't. Yeah. The whole idea of I don't want to be around for a rebuild, right? I don't.
Yeah.
That
already set the tone
so bad. You're right. That was clearly him already saying something. But besides that, it was all I thought when I heard that, and I didn't even watch it. I just heard it through a grapevine through somebody else. But when I heard it, I thought, you son of a bitch.
You pretentious asshole.
You seriously are going to say you don't want to be here for a rebuild, but where were you for the last 3 years when you had the Super Bowl caliber team? So when you're given everything, you still can't win. So what makes you think that you can just go anywhere and win? And he probably will. He probably will just go to some random team and they'll win. And of course, everything will be hunky-dory. And we'll question
thought that about
all this up.
Brett Favre until he threw that pick.
We did, but you know what?
That's Brett.
The hard thing right now in the NFL is you look at Tom Brady, Johnny Stafford. I mean, guys actually going to their teams and being successful instantly, something we didn't see for a very long time. My point being, though, still, is I took that really wrong, and I thought that was super crappy. And the fact that he's never just going to come out and say, like, hey, you know what? I just didn't do it for you guys. I screwed up. I should have played better. He'll blame somebody else. And I want to just bring this up because I read an article today, and I thought it's from a Deadspin article from a Chicago Bears fan, blah, 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 blah. But what I thought he said made so much sense. And what he said was, don't worry, Rodgers will find someone else or someone else's to blame. There's the special teams, the coach, the GM. He was already starting in on that last night, already demanding the team be tailored to his exact specifications, which they did, bringing Cobb back. Then he didn't want to be part of any rebuild. 8 seconds after, he said it wouldn't be fair to address anything like that at the moment. It doesn't matter. This is the line you should all hear. It doesn't matter that it isn't fair to anyone because it was fair to Rodgers, which is all he's ever cared about. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, that comment was total bullshit.
It funny how quickly he rattled off the people that had expiring contracts? Like, he knew all that before all of his other crap in that presser. He knew all of that stuff in a game that he just lost.
Well, he had to because he was sitting on the sidelines with no fucking emotion, so he had to be thinking about contracts because he sure as hell wasn't thinking about winning the game.
He wasn't. I mean, it was. Yeah, I just was such a tasteless comment. It's like, oh, we were on here for a rebuild. Well, you didn't. We gave you the team this year. You didn't do it anyway. So
thanks for 16, 17 years, whatever the hell you gave us. Peace. Go to the Steelers if you really want.
There's a reason.
Get beat by Lamar Jackson.
There's a reason.
Patrick Mahomes.
In this room, it's filled with incredible Packer stuff, and there's no Aaron Rodgers.
I can't
listen. Aaron Rodgers is going to go down as one of the greats, but make no mistake about it. There's a lot of disappointment in that career. A lot of it. He's won a lot of games for us, a lot of important games. But my God, if you sat there and told me in 2010 after we hoisted Lombardi, he'll never go back to the Super Bowl, not even go back to it, much less compete for one, never go back, I would have told you you're insane. What
Absolutely. I remember I was in Madison, Wisconsin. I was watching it with Caston, a good friend of mine, and I remember looking at him and thinking, man, we're gonna run this league for the next 10 years. Same way I've looked at Patty Mahomes, right? When Patty Mahomes came in and did that, I go, oh man, he's gonna be tough. Guess what? He's actually did it. He did it.
Guess what? I thought the Packers basically missed out on being the gold standard in the NFL. They could have ripped all that shit from the Patriots. How many times did they have the chance to go to at least go to a Super Bowl? Had they added 2 or 3 more, and they had 5 or 6 opportunities. So saying 2 or 3 more isn't out of the question. If they added 2 or 3 more, they're up to what, 7 Super Bowls in franchise? I mean, they become the gold standard in what is successful in the NFL, and they didn't do it. They blew it.
Yeah, we get it. We're never going to see that. I don't want to even look back at that crap because you know what? It just sickens me to death that we had
guess what? We're old.
Quarterbacks and nothing to show for.
That's what you do. You get
a lot
drunk
of
and you think about
what happened. MVPs.
Listen, that's what you do. You get old, you get drunk, you get fat, and you talk about what could have been. That's what all my uncles did. Okay, that's what you do. You talk about all the mistakes, all the Seattle games, the Arizona games, the Tampa games. You talk about that.
Yeah, I guess we'll always look back at that. Let's just throw out some predictions. Who do you got? Super Bowl weekend. Who's your prediction?
Well, we got championship weekend. Let's start there first.
I mean, I don't really give a shit. That basically is the same. That's the same thing. You're picking 2 teams to win. Who's going to the Super Bowl? That's the same thing.
Well,
that's
then
the same exact thing. Win.
Okay, fine. All right, whatever. Jeez Louise, man.
Well, I'm just saying who you got going to the Super Bowl is stating who's winning.
Okay, well, I'll just start. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go NFC. NFC. We obviously have the Rams and
49ers.
Yes,
divisional matchup.
Thank you. I mean, I obviously the Niners have had the Rams number. I think the last 4 times.
6 times. 6 in a row.
6 times. Sorry, I'm way off. Wow,
3
that's
straight years
crazy
is
to think
okay.
about.
Yeah,
That's
you suck.
super crazy to think about. I don't know if they can do it again. I don't. The Rams are playing really well right now, and my heart of hearts,
Soil's really nice.
I'm rooting for Johnny Stafford because I love John Stafford. This one's for Jacob Westendorf. I can't wait for John Stafford to go to the Super Bowl so I can buy a Stafford jersey and send it to Westendorf's house. That being said, I mean, let's be honest. I don't want San Fran to go to the Super Bowl, right? I don't want necessarily the Rams to, but I'll take the Rams over the 49ers all day in that situation because I love Cooper Kupp. Love Aaron Donald, love Johnny
Hurry
Stafford.
up. We got 6 minutes.
Yeah, the other side, I desperately wanted the Bengals and Bills because both those teams get me so hyped up. They're both very Wisconsin-y Packer type teams. Bills obviously didn't get there. Bengals against the Chiefs.
Are you
I'm
gonna say
going
it?
Bengals, man.
Are you gonna say
Burrow?
it? There it
I want
is!
Burrow going, baby.
Burrow!
I'm all in on Burrow, baby.
I
I'm a
love it.
Bengal. Who day? Listen. I'm gonna quick little shout out to my boy Aaron, who's a genuine Bengals fan, and I thought he was bullshit. He was rooting for him for a long time. He was so hyped up. They're going to the AFC Championship. So shout out to Aaron. I'm all with
I
the
got
Bengals,
a friend
baby.
like that too. It's kind of crazy. Matt,
Love
go
it,
ahead.
love it.
I'm going to go ahead and say Chiefs, Rams. I think the Chiefs beat the Rams. I want Stafford to get one. I've never had a problem with him. It'd be great to see him cash one in, but I think the Chiefs get it. Mahomes cements himself as like this new generation, the guy. He's going to be the guy. But that said, I would love to see the Bengals go, man. That's why like my heart wants to go.
Fred.
The Bengals, but I think it's going to be KC.
Fred, who's your Super Bowl winner if you got Burrow in there?
Bengals and Rams. Interesting.
You give it to Johnny Stafford?
Interesting tidbit too, because Zach Taylor comes from that same sort of tree of McVay and all them. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be in LA. That's the hard part. That's very hard.
Yeah, but they don't care there. They don't care.
They don't have
You know,
fans. They
I
really have
think
no
that-
fans.
I think that
Rams
I think
suck.
that Burrow is a different breed. I think
He's
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 a
got
winner,
something
man.
Listen, he's got something
hanging.
hanging between his legs that we all wish for, and I think that guy would walk into the LA, and I think he would win in LA. Put some shades on, grab a stogie, and he would light it up middle of LA. Yeah, he is a beast, and they don't look
Burrow.
scared. They don't look like they're afraid.
Are you
of
picking the
anything.
Bengals?
And I think that they would go in. I think they're going to KC. I think they're going to shock KC. So yeah, I'm going Bengals. Bengals Super Bowl winners, baby. Let's go.
I love it. I'm behind it.
Who
100%.
they? Who they? All right, I've got
They ain't us because we don't even get there.
Packers.
I've
Not
got
the Packers.
Chiefs, Rams. I've got the Chiefs
Well, how
winning. Patty
original.
Mahomes. This is his
Oh,
league.
real original.
State Farm. They're going to get rid of Rodgers. It's all going to be about
Brady's
Patrick
gonna retire.
Mahomes. They only
It's his
pick
league
winners,
now.
not losers. Quick shout out. I want to just say real quick. Thoughts and prayers to Jacob Westendorf. We're very sorry for your loss. You're the leader of this game on Wisconsin. You've done a great job running the ship. We appreciate you. We hope there's anything that you can do from the Freezer Podcast family. If we can do anything, we're sending prayers your way. For anybody that's in this chat that watches all the other shows or sees anything that Jacob does, he's got his footprint on everything, or fingerprint on everything in this realm. And so we wouldn't be here without him. So thoughts and prayers to Jacob Westendorf and his family. Finally, guys, let's real big shout out to everybody that's in this show. As far as the Andrew Strasberg, the two of you, it's awesome when we can do a show like this every Monday. It's truly an honor to be here with you guys and talk Packers. And it's never been about the Packers. It's always been about us. It's the three of us. We are what drives the show. That's why people come here. They could give a shit about what we say about the Packers. They come here for us, and we're giving them a great show, and I love it.
We all we got.
We all we got. We all we need, right? So, and thank you everybody that comes here each and every week. I know a lot of it probably is family and friends, but there is so many people today that I've never even seen once in this chat, and I'm like, what? And that is awesome. So much thanks and love. And shout out to all of you guys for joining us on a Monday night, 7 to 8 every week. It's awesome. We really do appreciate it because honestly, this is just a little, passion project that we never thought would become this kind of big. And then, when Matt and we joined forces with Fred, we were like, damn, Fred's awesome. Look at this guy. He's like royalty. And look at us now. And he's, this has been a brotherhood of something amazing that we will keep doing. As much as the heartbreak and the sucky, the suckiness that it is that we can't win a Super Bowl right now, the one thing that does bring us back together is family and football and what we have right here. So that's all I got. Fred, Matt, if you got anything you want to say, this is the last show of the season. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, just thanks for hanging with us. I mean, always appreciate it. This has been nothing more than just just a place to go take all this Packer thoughts and put it out on the internet and interact with some people that are passionate as well. And I'm always thankful to spend some time with you guys every Monday, whether it's a win or a loss. Always have a good time shooting the shit. So gotta be honest, looking forward to the little decompression period after the season. But I'll look back fondly on this year.
Freddie?
This is year 7 or 8 for me rocking a podcast. So I've come a long way from recording in my little room when everyone went to sleep with some crappy mics and things like that. So it's been a heck of a journey, like just coming up. And then obviously joining this podcast has been, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is where I'm at. So, I will say that, it pisses me off because I just want to come on the show once and be like,
we're Super Bowl champs.
Pop some champagne and just let it run.
Where were we 2010?
And not even for the show, but just to have that moment with these two guys is a dream for me. So I'm really hoping that before we're too old that we can have that moment, because
we're willing to get tattoos. We were willing.
I'll do tattoos. I'll shave my head. I don't care at this point.
We were going to release that.
We're willing to do anything. But no, it's a lot of fun. We appreciate the crap out of everybody hanging out with us on Monday nights. Appreciate my wife for putting up with my crap. Appreciate my kid for talking crap to me. It looked like a tomato. And you guys, it's kind of interesting. 3 years in the show. I mean, we've had babies, we've had hair getting shaved off, we've had hot chips, weddings, anniversaries, all that sort of good stuff. So this is, if there's one thing I can tell you guys, fans and everybody out there, is if you think this is a show, you are far, far mistaken, because it is far more than a show. It is a friendship and a brotherhood, and that comes first.
Amen.
With that being said, that's Fred. That's Matt. I'm Sanjay. That's all we got for you folks. Go, Pack, go!